Good morning to everyone, and thank you to the organizer to invite me and give me the opportunity to go to talk about the first result of the expedition, IDP Expedition 402. This is a photo of the JOID resolution that it has been done during one of the operation day. I can go. Okay, before to start, I want just to spend 2 words to Maria Biancacita, because she played a crucial role in the IODP program for Italy. She strongly pushed the Italian government to be part of this program, to hold the SDP program, and she also was on board of the Global Challenger for several times, 4 times, and she pushed her colleagues, Italian researchers, scientists, to be part of this expedition. Thus, we have to thank her for all work that she did. So, to start, why is it important to study the internal of Earth? It is, I think that we believe that we know many things, but it's not so. We don't know enough how the Earth system works. Thus, it is crucial to continue to study and try to go more in deep in the Earth to understand how the system works and how the deep processes interact with the shallow processes. And for this, we had this expedition in which we have had the opportunity to drill not only the rocks of the mantle rocks, but even the sediment that lay on the top. Why we decide to go in the middle of the Tyrrhenian? We know that in the middle of the Tyrrhenian there is the mantle exhumed, and but we know only this, that there was exhumed mantle, but we know nothing about the detail of the process. Thus, we want to study in more detail the process, the exhumation process, how this happened, the timing, and where is the fault that allowed the exhumation, and how the mantle rocks interact with the magmatic fluid coming from deep, and how it interact with the water fluid coming from upper part, and also to understand the heterogeneity, more about the heterogeneity of the mantle source, and also to test, to verify the models proposed in these last 10 years about the continental lithosphere rifting, thinning, breakup, and crustal accretion. Okay, this is a summary of the drilling that we did. We drilled 6 sites, 4 localized in the central part of the Vavilov, that is in the central north part of the Tyrrhenian Bekark Basin, and 2 in the 2 conjugate margin, the Cornalia terrace that is close to the Sardinia, and the Campania terrace that is more close to the Campania area. So we drilled in total 2,825 meters with a recovery that is over than 1,000 meters. We drilled, as you can see in the summary, about 300 meters in the mantle with a recovery of 100 meters of rocks. And then we also, the rest of the drilling are, we recovered the sediments, and in some places the basement. We used the rotary core barrel bit for the rocks because it is a more destructive system, and for sediments we used the advanced piston core bit that is more conservative for sediments. Okay, go to the rocks. These are some examples of the mantle peridotite. Here I'm showing you some examples of fresh, we can say that they are fresh mantle, not alterated. Then some mantle rocks that are affected by several veins filled by carbonatic, And then we have a mantle with high alteration, mineral alteration that are typical serpentinite peridotate, and then some inclusion or highly alterated rocks. So this heterogeneity that we observed at depth in the core 1614 is well reflected also by velocities. So I will take some correlation with physical properties because I was on board as a physical properties expert. So we was, at the beginning, we was imagining that the velocities of the mantle just was increasing a little bit with the depth, but at the end we realized that was not so. We were able to observe a kind of trend also in the mantle, and we realized that this variation, this trend, is well correlated with the alteration of the mantle. Now move to sediments. These are some examples. I included examples of mud, well compacted or not so well compacted, deformed because we also drilled as lamp, alterated and other kind of muddy silt until to thin sands. But when we have usually mud or silty sediments, velocities of these sediments are very low and well aligned, usually well aligned along the depth. And they usually vary in a range between 1,450 to 1,550, so very, very low velocities. While if we have inside these muddy sands some more consolidated rocks, for example, here we drilled some volcanoclastic deposit. Sometimes these deposits are very thick, other times they are thin and interlayered with muddy sediments. In that case, we can observe a little changes in the velocities, but if we have a look to the magnetic susceptibility, we can see that we have a continuous variation that is strictly correlated with the lithology. Now, to finish with the sediments, these are some examples of the Messinian deposit that we drilled in the two sites, the 1613 and the 1617. The Messinian deposits are characterized by the upper part done by thin sediments, usually silt or muddy, that highly alterated, reduced. They are called, in Italy we call them lagomarefacis. But when we go in deep, the lithology starts to change. We can have muddy with several veins filled by gypsum, and in deep this gypsum starts to grow up, becomes kind of grains done by chalk, and then they becomes massive like a layer of andesite, and finally at the base of the andesite we found the halite. So some words more about the physical properties of these sediments. The upper part where we have the lagomarefacis, usually the velocities are very low, but if we go down, we can observe that there is a strong increase in velocities that are alternated with the low velocities, and these are due to the alternation between gypsum reed muddy with the gypsum layer that are more massive. And below this layer, we have andesite and halite that are massive thick. Usually these are very high velocity and very low porosity. The halite has a porosity that is around 0, and for this reason it is considered the best shale that we can find. Thus we have observed a kind of cyclicity in the deposition of the Messinian sediments. So to conclude, this is a picture of the entire people that were on board. Here is we have the technician staff, scientific staff, the crew, and all people that had worked, and all together we worked to make the expedition a success. So very last one, just few words on the opportunity. In Italy, where we have the IODP Italia, and that is part of the ECHORD, that gives support for small projects and give also access to the very big repository of sedimentary rocks that come from over the world. That is an opportunity for people young people that want to start to work in this part. And we know that the IODP program is ended, but the IODP Cube go on with it is led by Europe in collaboration with Japan and other countries, does continue to submit proposal, and I finished, try to be part of this system. Thank you.